Lozzie, tell me, what makes a good mother?
Oh my God, I loved this piece.
I'm so excited.
Have you read it?
No, but as soon as I saw that you'd put it on the schedule, because just for a bit of clarity to anyone listening, Loz and I have this shared folder of anything interesting we see, and it's always quite exciting, like a bit of a game to then see what we both picked to actually talk about, and I was particularly excited by this one.
Yeah, so I have been thinking a lot about this lately. I'm not sure if it's because I have been somewhat riddled with guilt around Sienna starting school, or maybe I'm just reassessing what it means if I'm like the mum that I truly want to be. It's such a funny milestone school because it's like they go off and then it leaves you in this silence of where you're sitting in the car thinking, far out, have I done what I wanted to do with the time before she started?
Yes, I imagine there's also this sense of how do I keep them wanting to be around me now that there's other people in the chat? Like they've got all these friends.
It's more like a reflection of like, have I been a good enough mum?
Yeah.
And so when this article was served to me, I was like, oh my God, this is reading my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
So this essay by Rebecca Mead looks at how our ideas around motherhood and ambition have shifted over time. So back in the mid-20th century, the idea of the good enough mother was about meeting a baby's basic need. And it existed in a world where someone could step away from work without huge financial pressure. That already feels pretty removed with how families live now. Fast 100%. Forward to today, and Mead argues that we're living with totally contradictory models of motherhood. So on one hand, there's the supermom who does career and crafts perfectly. Then there's the Pinterest-style intensive parent. Then there's the trad wife ideal that elevates staying at home. And then there are the pushback identities, which I'm seeing more and more of, like the bad mum or the mediocre mum that reject perfection altogether. Can you see the difference in mums?
Yeah, and what you're making so clear to me is that people didn't have the access of seeing all these polarities within 15 seconds the way we do online now. Like, even if you saw portrayals of this in TV shows in the 90s, it would have been like you're watching one TV show one week and then another the other week. Now we can see all of those stereotypes on our phones in a quick scroll.
Yeah, but everyone's an icon.
Yeah.
I think that's what I find so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a cool mum if you are hand making sourdough and baking it and making everything scratch.
Yeah.
No. You're a cool mum if you are saying, fuck that, my kids are eating hamburgers for breakfast.
So true.
You're a cool mum if you don't give a shit what your kid wears.
Yeah.
The polar opposite, you're a cool mum if you dress your kids in preppy outfits. Like, it is so overwhelming and there's so many different boxes.
Hot take after hot take.
Yeah, it's almost like, where do you fit? Somehow, the one thing that remains though is, regardless of where you sit, you're made to feel guilty for not sitting in one of the other boxes. And so this piece really captures how impossible these cultural expectations have become and how little they match the reality of raising kids and trying to build a life. Which version of good mum do you feel like we're meant to be as a society right now? Because I think it's actually changed. It used to be trad wife a couple of months ago, but I'm seeing more of a trend. What do you think?
I'm seeing a lot of the parent like a dad type stuff.
Yes.
And I do resonate with that. My only criticism of that is that there is a point to which, let's act like it's a shit version of a dad, because there's obviously amazing dads out there. Let's pretend this is like the shit lazy dad. If two parents in a relationship are both acting like a shit lazy dad,
no one wins.
No one wins, because shit actually does need to get done eventually. And in that version, in the shit lazy dad version, you're probably not going to live a life that is actually constructive and like working for you.
Yes.
Like there's going to be shit everywhere all the time and no one's going to be happy.
Yeah.
So like when I see this shit dad type sentiment, I'm like, yeah, but normally someone else has to pick up that slack. And if you're both doing that, it's not going to win. No one's going to win. I don't really know what I'm trying to say there. But
no, I agree with that. So what really...
I'm like, what am I trying to say? Because I do like the shit dad sentiment to a point. But obviously there gets to a point where I'm like, well, we both just can't not try. Like we both should just both try to be good enough.
Yes. What really landed for me on that is the idea that a good mum is built for a life that most people don't actually have. You can't have people doing that. Otherwise, you're achieving nothing. It assumes that you've got time, that you've got money, that you have flexibility and that you have support. But most of us are trying to be present and calm on top of paid work, no sleep, childcare logistics and financial stress. So it's not that women are failing at motherhood, it's that the standard doesn't fit the world anymore.
And also, as we know from so much research, we're actually spending more time with our kids than ever before. previous generations.
Spot on.
That's so interesting.
Which is really
Yeah.
interesting because I don't know, like if you think about it, you'd go out into the street and play ball back in the day, or like you'd go, like mum used to take me to a play group and they'd all play tennis. Where does that exist now? Where do the play groups where mums can go out and play tennis exist? Because they certainly don't exist around
Okay,
me.
well, this is the whole reframing of it, tying back into career, right? So this is where I think ambition actually gets quite complicated because it used to mean I want a career. It was very like set back in the day, like I'm a mum
Yes.
or I want a career. You kind of didn't really have that merging of both. But now ambition I'm hearing is sounding more like I want to stay sane. I want to feel financially safe. I want to still recognize myself. I want an identity outside of motherhood. Like that ambition has completely shifted, which is a different kind of pressure. So do you think ambition in mums now has to be justified in a way that it didn't have to be before?
It's really interesting. As you were saying that, I was thinking about when I was a kid, the mums that did do a lot of work, you really saw them as like these, and not in a bad way, like if anything, I probably admired them. You saw them as sort of hard asses that wanted careers and they were like the more tough women, you know, like that was the sort of caricature
Like
of the
women in a
working mum.
pantsuit.
Yeah, exactly. It was like very much girl boss era,
Yeah.
you can have it all type thing. And it was very black and white. And then the other end of that was the homemaking mum. And the lines have been so blurred, yet as you're saying, Instagram still wants to deliver these hot takes, but none of that, as you said, is reality.
It can't
So I
be.
feel like no one really actually knows who they are now because we've all been told that we actually need to define ourselves rather than us all sort of meeting in the middle in this sort of messy grey area, which is how most of us live. Like
I
most
think
of us
you
are
have-
both.
What you just said then, I think you have nailed it.
Wow, that is such a compliment. By the way, I thought you nailed your bits too.
So when you touched on social media, I mean, you would see the same, obviously,
Yeah.
because you're getting spammed with our algorithm
yeah,
talking about this all the time.
Infested our algorithm.
Exactly. Do you think that social media is making this worse by constantly serving up new versions of what a good mum is supposed to look like?
I will argue a little bit that I think it's everyone.
Yeah.
I think there's just this constant need for everyone to be a new version all the time.
Oh, that's so true.
And I think especially in 2026, like start of the year, like we've just had the new year where everyone's like the great lock-in and like I'm going to be the best
If I
version of
hear that
myself.
word
yeah,
one
the
more
great
time,
lock-in.
or is it the year of the snake this year? What's the
No, it's
year?
the horse.
The horse.
Oh, giddy up.
Okay, because
Giddy
people
up.
keep saying like it's a shedding of something, like it's a
Yeah,
some new
true.
energy.
I think that's something to do with like the moon cycle though.
No,
but I don't know. We need to get like a
It's
woo-woo
a
person on
Capricorn
to talk about
rising
that.
horse year.
Yeah, well, whatever it
The
is,
horse is shedding.
I'm seeing
The horse is shedding.
Like, okay.
I'm seeing a lot of
Yeah.
it, but that lock-in theory,
Oh, it's
Nah.
putrid.
That's actually such a great point. I think once you're in the echo chamber, particularly of parenting, you see these things served to you about parenting. But it's so interesting what you said about, I think that's actually just across the board.
But
Like
I would
whatever
say-
identity you fit in at the moment, you're being served these polarities.
Yeah, but I would say that it's like worse for mums because I feel like for a normal person, you guys don't
Like
have
kids.
normal- for childless folks over here, there's like, oh yeah, there's this pressure to be like, oh, skinnier and hotter and stronger, but it's only pressure for me.
Totally.
Whereas you, it's like, oh, am I letting my children down? Am I
That
letting
is
my
such a
husband
good
down?
point. It's a
Like,
bit heavier.
it's
Like you
heavier,
still
yeah.
have things to carry, but like it's about
about
you.
yourself.
Whereas with parenting, it's like, am I going to fuck up my kids?
Yeah.
but the whole thing about being a mum, right, is it's actually also defined by what your circumstances are.
Yes.
If you have access to a shitload of money,
Yeah. Resources, parents around. To
you could be a
help.
completely different mum.
Yeah.
But most
You
of
can
us
outsource everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can spend the time sitting on the floor playing craft
Yeah.
because you've got a nanny or a cook or a chef or whoever doing all
Yeah.
the other shit.
Yeah.
So true.
I do feel like what you guys were saying before about like the present mum is definitely what I think I'm seeing more of. It's
Me
like,
too.
Yeah.
It's like you shouldn't be worried about anything other than being with your child and being in the moment
Totally.
and reading with them and
that will
playing
always
with them,
prevail,
like-
won't it? Too.
Yeah.
Like all these stereotypes and these new sort of ideas can infiltrate social media, but I think that will always prevail as what the actual good mum is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quote unquote. Of
Which
course.
again assumes the privilege of time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's
and not being
nothing else
stressed
to
by
do.
like finances and all of those things.
Yes. So I think the point that this article is quietly or probably loudly making is that we need to stop treating motherhood like a personality test and start seeing it as something shaped by work, money, and childcare, not just willpower.